Hey everyone, welcome to my new vlog series. This one is a little bit different to anything I've tried before, and I can't wait to show you Australia. For anyone that follows me over on Instagram, you'll know that I recently flew out from England to spend a bit of time over in Australia. So I'm currently coming to you from I was going to say sunny Sydney, but not really sunny, pretty grey. To be honest, pretty Glasgow-like Sydney today. Now, next week I'll be joining Coral Princess on a cruise from Sydney Harbour, which still feels mental that I'm actually saying that. But I can't wait for that for a number of reasons. So number one, this year is the year that cruising has really restarted over in Australia. So if you remember, anyone that watches these videos from the UK, you'll remember how buzzing we were as a market last year when everything kicked off with Virtuosa from Southampton. Now, that's the kind of general feel I'm getting from Australia at the moment, where everyone seems really excited that the ships are back. I can't wait to show you what it's like to cruise from here, but also what it's like to cruise from here nowadays, because one thing that was very evident, although it was great to be back, cruising last year from England was pretty different to what we had before the pandemic. So it'll be good to see what the world looks like over here. Secondly, I have wanted to cruise from Sydney forever. I remember as a kid watching the fireworks going over the Sydney Harbour Bridge at New Year and just thinking it would be remarkable to be on one of those cruise ships in the harbour. So yeah, fine, we're not going to get the multi-million-dollar fireworks show going off as we leave. However, I just can't wait to experience it. I can't actually imagine right now cruising past the Sydney Opera House. I think it'll just be the weirdest feeling. And then finally, now if you've been following for a while, you will know that I have cruised with Princess before. So my friend Laura and I were actually not long back from Discovery Princess over in Alaska, which you can see those videos and those vlogs on the channel if you subscribe now. I should plug that. And then last year I was on Regal Princess as she did her first international cruise from the UK, which that was really exciting to be on that, and I think this one next week is going to be a pretty similar feel. But I've never been on this type of ship. Now Coral's one of the older ones, which I can't wait to see the differences between her and Regal and Discovery, which are pretty similar ships. But hey, I'm going to show you everything and hopefully get a full ship tour recorded so that I can show you in detail what Coral's like as a ship. So today, what are we going to look at? Now, when I booked the cruise, one thing was really apparent, and that was, from an excursion perspective in Sydney, they're pretty predictable. I mean, when your ship docks, either for a port day, or at the end of your cruise, or at the start of your cruise, or do you know what, maybe you're not even coming here for a cruise, maybe you're just looking for something to do. The options that you could go on from Princess Cruises were pretty generic, so hey, if you wanted to go for a tour of the Opera House, if you wanted to go and check out the Harbour Bridge, if you wanted to check out the highlights of the city on a walking tour or a bus tour, you absolutely can do that, and that ticks that box straight away. However, if you want to do something a little bit different, that's what I'm hopefully going to show you today. Now, we're actually going to leave Sydney for this video, so I'm currently coming to you from the western suburbs, which if you look at Sydney on a map and it's over here on the coast, you'll notice that there's a river that goes up. Now, I'm basically just further up that river, about a 20-minute drive away from the Sydney Harbour Bridge. And today we're actually going to be taking a 90-minute drive north. So anyone that's been here before, you'll know that that coastline is absolutely remarkable. And I'm going to show you that in my next video where I take you on a Palm Beach road trip. But today, the entrance is going to be our destination. Now, what this is, it's essentially where the ocean meets one of the Great Lakes on the Australian east coast. And one of the reasons why I've chosen this one is because it's a little bit off the beaten trail for most tourist traps. So I'm hoping that it's going to feel a little bit more like a seaside suburb that Australians would actually live in, rather than the likes of Bondi, which feels a little bit touristy. Now, one of the big draws with the entrance is that the wildlife is meant to be absolutely brilliant. So anyone that's watched the Alaska vlogs will know that I tried to go whale watching, unfortunately failed miserably, but apparently you can whale spot and you can also dolphin spot from the entrance. And one other thing that I'm actually most excited about this one, because I've definitely never seen them in real life, you can actually see pelicans there, which I get it, for Australians they're probably a pretty common thing, but for someone from Glasgow in Scotland, I don't even think we'd get pelicans at the zoo, so yeah, I've definitely never come across one before. Now, pre-COVID, they used to have a pelican feed, where every single day at 3:30, they would essentially feed the pelicans, who would all come in for this time, which, how on earth a pelican knew it was 3:30, I have absolutely no idea. But they've stopped that now because of crowds gathering in light of COVID. So my logic today is that heading up there, we should stand a pretty decent chance of seeing a pelican, because I think if they've been getting fed there for years, I'd be very surprised if they've all collectively made the decision to go somewhere else. But hey, watch this space, because you'll remember from Alaska, I didn't do overly well at whale watching. So yeah, hold the line on that one. But yeah, look, for now, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would love it if you'd think about doing so. As I said, the next video I'm going to be showing you the Palm Beach road trip from Sydney to Palm Beach, and then we're going to kick into a shorter but still a vlog series looking at life on board Coral Princess out of Sydney. So yeah, look, for now, I guess let's go and I'll show you the east coast of Australia. So yeah, anyone that knows me will know that I can't go any longer than about a 15-minute drive without craving a coffee. So the pit stop has happened on the way north, and the thing that amazed me about this, so this has just cost me $5, which is the equivalent of just over £3 in the UK, which actually is what I'd expect to pay in a coffee shop. So it shows you the difference in prices, because in the UK we'd probably get this for like £1, but hey, as I said, for a coffee, at the moment I'm willing to pay it. Right, that's us about 20 miles in, which means that within an hour we should hopefully be there. We've got 35 miles still to cover. Now, where we are at the moment, so I've pulled into what they call a rest area here, and I think for anyone watching this from the UK or from America, I think that's the equivalent of what we would call a service station. Now, usually for us, that means you'd find quite a big building. It would have a couple of shops, it would have a coffee shop, it would have the toilets in it, so on and so forth. But here, it's pretty much the opposite. So they've got a tiny little toilet building. They've then got, I was going to say a shop, they've got a van that has driven in today that you can buy coffee, you can buy an ice cream from. But the main thing here that has really surprised me is the view. Wait until I show you where we are, and the baffling thing is, this is just somewhere at the side of the road where people pull over to stretch their legs. But look, let me take you down and show you what's here. Right, so as you know, one of the things that we're trying to find today is a pelican, and I actually thought we were going to have to drive all the way to the entrance to find them. Now, I'm starting to think they're maybe a little bit more common than what I'm giving them credit for, because right after getting out of the car, they're actually at this rest area. So I guess the positive is, we've already ticked one off. Granted, I think these ones are just waiting for scraps of people's lunch, but let me turn the camera around and show you what we're seeing, because this has gone a lot better than whale watching did up in Alaska. Anyway, for now, back to the car and 30 miles to go. Okay, so after about an hour of driving, you come off the freeway and you enter what I would probably call real Australia, and you come through more of the suburbs. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. It's quite amazing that I've made it this far without stopping for another coffee. And yeah, what I would probably reassure you by saying is, don't worry, luckily for us, this one is just round the corner. Okay, update for everyone, so we've arrived. Now, as you can see in the car windows, the back one especially, the rain's been on and it seems to have gone off for a couple of minutes now, so I'm hoping it stays that way. I've got the drone with me today, so I'd love to show you what the main town looks like from above, so who knows, we might be able to get that on shortly, but yeah, looking at a little bit doubtful because it's pretty wet. But anyway, where we are right now, so we're not in the town itself, we're in a suburb just slightly out, and it's on the lake that we spoke about earlier. So remember the way this works, you've got the entrance as the main strip that connects the bottom to the top obviously, and then on one side you've got the Tasman Sea and on the other you've got the lake. Now the lake is pretty much surrounded by walking tracks, which I'm going to take you out of the car now to show you guys, and I think from the car I can actually see more pelicans. I'm going to have to Google this because I'm beginning to think a pelican to an Australian is maybe like a pigeon or a seagull to a Brit, and actually maybe they're not anything that special, because it's funny how the 2 times I've pulled the car over they've been literally right there, so I'm gonna have to look at that. But hey, look, let me show you out here and then we'll head over to the town and have a look there. And from here, it was time to head over and take a look at the town itself and also the main event, the beach. Now I will have to apologise for the audio in this next clip. It turns out it was blowing a gale and yeah, my iPhone earphones obviously don't deal very well with the wind. So bear with me and it'll get better again in a sec. Okay, so what we've just done is we went from the lake that I showed you a second ago over into the town centre and then across the bridge, which is now taking us to what they call north entrance. So we're now on the beach, as you can see, so you've got the Tasman Sea there and then you've got the lake just on the other side. Now I'll flip the camera and show you what I'm looking at now, but the plan here, you can probably tell it's a little bit windy. I've had to put my, as my colleagues are calling it at the moment, my dad jumper on, so I'm hoping I've not just aged myself by 10 years by putting this on. I'm going to try and get the drone up to show you how this connects, but I'm not, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure it'll actually fly, and I'm even more nervous about trying to get it back down in the wind, but hey, the beach is dead, so worst comes to worst, it'll be me chasing an object through the sky, so let's wait to see how that goes. But anyway, I am walking over to the town and I'll show you what's here when we get there. follow it. Sorry, managed to get it back down. Now, actually that's really impressive that drone managed to do that. So it's, I wish I could measure, I wish I could tell you how windy it is here right now, but I didn't think that would even take off, so we've done not bad. Anyway, now heading over the beach to more pelicans over here, of course, but I'm going to head up and try and grab a brew. By brew I mean coffee, but try and get one of them. It's a bit late now though, it's approaching like 4:30, so not sure if things will be open, but what's this space we'll find out in a minute. Right, slight hitch. I have been, do you know what, I'll just hold my hands up and say I've been a complete idiot. So the main draw with this place is that the ocean and the lake connect. Now, I've had a bit of a moment where the ocean is over there. Sorry, that was the lake. The ocean is here. And obviously, the whole point of this place is that they connect. So I have just parked up the north, as I said a minute ago, walking into the main bit, where all the shops are, where all the coffee shops are, where everything is, and obviously it's completely impassable because there is a body of water that connects the two of them together. So I am going to have to, like a complete muppet, walk back to the car, which is about another 30 minutes up this beach, to then try and get into the town from there in the car. So back to square one. So the drive over to the main part of the town only actually takes a couple of minutes. I would say you're probably in the car for 5 minutes max. I've sped it up here because there's not too much to report, so you definitely don't want to watch me driving it down. Now, this is the main high street, so this has got shops and restaurants on either side, and then you go down the hill and you've got the car park down at the bottom, which, massive kudos to them, the car park is free, which usually in Australia, when you get to these beach setups, parking costs a fortune, so big thumbs up from me. Okay, so after that absolute fail, I'm now back on the right side of the water, which is good. So now at the entrance, the main town, and the main thing to do at this time of night, so it's about 6 o'clock now, you'll see in a second, but the sun's pretty much gone. It's still daylight, but the sun has gone down now, so it should be dark probably in the next hour or so. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be in Australia now for a couple more days before getting on Coral Princess, and as I said, I'll be showing you some of the kind of different things that you can do if you are based around Sydney and you're looking to do maybe a day trip out, or you're looking to see a little bit of the city. So in my next video, I'm going to show you a totally different type of road trip to what we've done today, which is going to be from Sydney city centre really, up to the northern beaches and then beyond all the way up to Palm Beach. So I'm actually so looking forward to putting that video together. Just whatever you do, pray for sunshine for me, because that's going to make it significantly more pleasant from my perspective. Now yeah, as I said, next video Palm Beach. For now I'm going to take you out and show you the town as it enters nighttime, but for now, thank you for watching and I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks, bye.